The car sliced through the desolate night, the only companion being the whirring of the engine and the occasional crackle of static from the radio. I glanced at the clock. It was well past midnight. I had chosen the shortcut to save time, but I wasn't prepared for the eerie desolation that wrapped around me like a suffocating blanket. The road was narrow, flanked by dense woods on either side. The headlights cut through the darkness, revealing fleeting glimpses of trees, their branches contorted like the fingers of some ancient, skeletal being. A shiver ran down my spine, and I couldn't shake off the feeling that someone, or something, was watching me from the shadows. As the miles trickled by, the isolation became more pronounced. The only other sign of life was the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind. I gripped the steering wheel tighter, trying to drown out the sense of unease that clawed at me. The night grew misty, a thick fog rolling in like a veil, making it nearly impossible to see more than a few feet ahead. My heart quickened its pace, each beat echoing in the silence. The mist played tricks on my mind, conjuring up shapes and figures that vanished as quickly as they appeared. Out of the mist, I saw a figure up ahead, a hitchhiker, thumb outstretched. I hesitated for a moment, debating whether to stop, but something held me back. It didn't feel right. It felt off. As I drove past, the figure's face was hidden in the fog, but a chill swept through me, a sense of dread settling in my chest. My mind raced with 1,000 unsettling thoughts, and I couldn't understand why I felt so unsettled. The road twisted and turned unpredictably, and the mist grew denser, as if the night itself was conspiring against me. I tried tuning the radio for distraction, but all I got was static, a dissonant hum that only added to my growing sense of isolation. And then, there it was again. The same hitchhiker stood by the roadside, only this time closer than before. I felt a cold sweat forming on my brow. How could they have moved so quickly? Was it the same person? It was impossible, but there they were. The cycle repeated. Each time I passed, the hitchhiker appeared closer, more disheveled, their face hidden in the mist. It felt like a nightmare I couldn't wake up from, a relentless loop of unease and confusion. I was trapped in a nightmarish echo. I tried to rationalize, to blame fatigue or my mind playing tricks on me, but the fear was real. My breaths grew shallow, and my heart raced in a frantic rhythm. I couldn't escape this cycle, and the road seemed never-ending, stretching into an abyss. Feeling desperate and lost, I made a decision. I had to confront the figure to break the cycle. As I approached, my heart pounding in my chest, I slowed down, calling out, "What do you want?" The figure turned slowly. My breath caught in my throat. It was me. The hitchhiker had my face, contorted into a twisted, malevolent grin. In sheer terror, I pressed on the accelerator, the car speeding away, tires screeching in protest. The same scenes looped, each more twisted and horrifying than the last. The figure, my doppelganger, haunted every turn, every fog-laden corner. It felt endless until suddenly, without warning, the mist lifted. I found myself back on a familiar, well-lit road. I pulled over, hands trembling, heart racing, struggling to comprehend what had just transpired. I sat there for what felt like an eternity, gasping for air, trying to make sense of the inexplicable. I was back, safe on a known road. But the terror lingered. The image of my own haunting reflection burned into my mind. I drove away, my mind reeling. That forsaken road would forever haunt my thoughts. I could never erase the image of that doppelganger, the sinister loop that seemed to defy all logic. And I knew, deep down, I would never dare traverse that road again, for fear of descending into that nightmarish cycle.